Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today I have Izabela coming over. I went over to her place for a whole day of pottery, and now she's coming over to my place for a whole day of bonsai.
Yeah, you could have a pathway. And it doesn't have to be a pathway, it's just some breakup. You don't want to look at even. You can, there's nothing wrong with it. But generally I find if there's something that leads your eye into a path, the mind just naturally explores it. It says, there's a path, I want to see what's...
Instead of like a wall and you're like, boom, and you can't even access that space.
I've been in forests where you can't get through the trees, they're so thick.
Yeah.
And it's not very inviting. It might look natural and realistic, but
disgusting.
You know, but that's... And then, so one like this, you can see the branches being pruned here once by someone. I didn't do it, but... So I would... You can see the old needles here, and then the new ones. So I would...
The buds.
There's a bud there, actually.
Yeah. There's a bunch of buds. The little ones.
Okay. So anywhere...
Get bigger.
Anywhere keeping a few of the buds.
Okay.
You just got to shorten it.
Actually, there's only buds on this side, so I got to turn it so I can see it. Which is interesting that the tree would do that. Because it's on the inside.
Yeah.
You can see how now the branches are starting to look interesting with the alternating spacing, and we removed some of the branches that were growing parallel to each other.
So now I would, keeping our conical form in mind, I would start taking some of these back. You've got a bud there.
Okay.
I would take it back just above the front of the bud. Not much off it, but it's something. It'll redirect the vigor down to the branch. And then
this one too.
This one we've got one branch coming out and then two off of it. There's a bud there, there's a bud there. So I would just underneath it here, and you've got a new one above there that you can replace.
And also, like, if you look at my first branch and this is like
thick.
twice or three times the size, so it totally doesn't belong there.
This one's fine because it's going to be the double apex, but this one I think is just too strong up there.
Yeah, and this one we don't care because it's in behind.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's not as critical.
So do you think I could use like my branch cutters and just make it nice? It's overwhelming when you're a novice and just when I'm, like...
Oh. Like some of these nursery trees, people get take your Alberta spruce there, for instance. You have to start somewhere pruning it. And it's very intimidating. It's where do you start?
They're so dense.
It's like, and then, you can use all the rules for pruning, but it doesn't mean you get a nice looking tree in the end. So yeah, I think everything else, other than there's a few shoots that are kind of out of your triangular profile here that need to be pruned back.
Like this?
Yeah. And maybe even that one.
Yeah, I see that.
So that's all I would do now is just kind of
here and
prune
here.
back as tight as you can to get that as close to a triangle as you can.
Oh, yeah.
Or a conical shape, I should say, not a triangle.
A lot of videos and, I did with my teacher too. It's so much better when you have someone there to guide you. Like
it's like when I made that pot. It was so nice having you there to guide me.
Because like in the video they say, oh, there is a bud, and I'm like, I don't see any buds.
Yeah.
But now you can show me, and that's so much. I feel more confident.
This bottom branch, you could actually take the upper part off.
Oh yeah, completely.
Yeah, or just maybe leave a stub for now, but because it's.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, might as well develop the more horizontal branch there.
And there is another little one here.
Yeah, got some sub-branching in that.
Yeah. It's two ducks swimming.
Branch in the right direction. There you go. I had a really fun day yesterday with Izabela over. We did a lot of pruning of the trees to get them ready for her forest planting, so that'll be exciting to see that someday. And today I'm heading off to Zin's place. Quite a drive, and first time I've ever been over to Zin's house, so that'll be exciting. And then we're heading off together to visit Ray's place. And you've seen Ray's place in another video, so it's going to be a busy day. So here I go. I got all my trees watered last night thoroughly. It's going to be another really hot day today. high of around 30 and high humidity. I've got the greenhouse door open, so hopefully all the trees will be okay until I get home. Well, I've made it to Maybe Bonsai with Zin. Here we are, and we're going to do a tour of the backyard.
All right.
And maybe we'll meet Zin's dog.
The dog is inside.
Oh, okay. So here we are. A place I'm very familiar with.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's my tiny bench.
There we go.
Oh, it's okay, don't worry about it.
This is the bench.
Tiny bench that I have, and then just,
Wow.
just other stuff growing.
You got quite a bit now.
Yeah, I mean, when I started, it was like maybe a quarter of
Yeah.
what I have now.
It started out as
things-
maybe bonsai, and now you're
Things just grow, and
maybe more bonsai.
Yeah, everything just grows.
What kind of tree is this in the corner?
That's a cherry
Cherry,
tree.
I thought so.
Which we don't harvest anything from. 'Cause
No.
everything gets taken from my animals.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's typical.
Yeah, and then this year, like the insects are really bad. You can see the leaves are all messed up.
Is that from the Japanese beetles, or?
Probably beetles and whatever else.
Yeah.
I don't even see them. They just, one day I wake up
Yeah,
and they're chewed up.
they're just like that. Yeah.
And this thing, I took it back a lot this year,
Yeah.
and everything just grew back in.
Yeah, they grow fast, don't they?
Oh yeah, very very good.
Wow, look at all this. There's your old jade from Connor's place there, eh?
Yeah, the jade is growing really well.
That's a beauty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nothing on the little willow leaf ficus yet. It's still coming
It's
in,
so
eh?
slow. Like these are all new, like these little things,
Yeah.
and it is like the slowest plant to come back from.
Well,
the
who
room like
knows?
this. But it's coming, so I'm not worried. It's just
Yeah.
extremely slow. That's all.
Yeah. It'll get there.
Yeah. And then this is the silk tree that
Oh,
you
that's
have
nice,
as well.
eh? Nice.
This has really grown, but I gotta make a cut, probably like here somewhere.
Yeah, I do too. I'm
Yeah.
going to wait till it's kind of dropped its leaves, and then I'll just cut it off.
Yeah.
I noticed in spring, I had a whole bunch of little buds all over,
Yeah.
and just the one developed because I guess it takes over as the leader, and it just
Yeah.
keeps going.
Yeah, the
so.
top really goes. Like I want this to get bigger, but it's like the
Yeah.
slowest thing to grow is the
Some trees
bottom.
are hard to get branching on.
Yeah. I should probably cut this right away, like soon, so I could get more energy.
Get that developed, yeah.
Yeah. And then in the winter, I'm gonna
So
put
you
it in
got
the garage.
you've got 3 branches, right? Or, no, more than
I
that.
got 1, 2, the leader, and then there's like a side leader.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I really like the structure of the tree, especially like I have this branch coming out here, and then I have the leader going that way.
Yeah.
Which is a good shape, I think.
And the lower leaves are smaller, aren't they? They're not as
Yeah.
giant as the big leaders. Mine are just huge. Mine are double your size there. They're just,
Well, I mean, mine's in like a tiny pot, maybe. That's.
yeah, maybe.
But yeah, this thing has. Now that I look at it, it's thickened up quite a bit.
It has. That's getting
It's-
bark on it and
yeah, I
everything.
really notice it. If you check every day, you just
No.
gets there, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's much
No, it
bigger
looks
now.
good. And look at this thing growing here, eh?
Yeah.
That's the hibiscus, isn't it?
Yeah, it was in this small pot before, like one of
Okay.
these.
Yeah.
And then I potted up. I was like, I need this to grow a bit faster.
And it's doing that now, isn't it? It's really
Yeah.
taken off.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with the styling, so I was like, I'll just let it grow.
Yeah.
Because it was going down, kind of, and
And there's
which is
your
fine.
cashews over there.
Yeah.
They're doing well.
You know what? I cut one of them back.
Oh, did
See
you?
what will happen? And they do.
Branched okay?
Yeah. See this? I cut the top,
Oh, yeah.
and you can see they're coming out right now.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I think they are good to, at least when they're young, you can cut them back and they'll rebud.
Yeah.
But the rest I haven't done anything. But
Yeah, I've got
basically,
one that it had trouble coming out of the shell.
Oh, okay.
The leader kind of died. It got stuck in the shell,
Oh.
and then it started branching from down lower.
Oh.
So I think they
Bigger
branch.
seed.
Yeah, I think they
Can't
branch
die.
okay.
Yeah.
Your Schefflera is looking good here, isn't it?
Yeah. The Schefflera is one tree that I don't worry about. They grow no matter what.
Yeah.
I think that's impossible.
Yeah,
And they love to grow.
it's basic aerial roots.
Yeah, like roots in the moth. It just
Yeah.
everywhere.
If you overwater them, that's about the only danger, the only way you'll kill them really,
Yeah.
because they're pretty tough plants.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ficus is looking good. Well, that's good. You've got a lot of nice miniature trees on the go here.
Yeah, they're just
Ivy
young.
there.
They're not like old miniature, they're just
Well,
young miniature.
It only takes a few years and they start looking more mature.
Yeah.
And there's your rosemary, eh?
Oh, that's this.
Or is that's
the
the lavender? Lavender, yeah. Wow, that's really going. Yeah, last time I saw that you had cut it back, right? And it was
nothing grow out.
That's incredible.
I just hope that the branches that grow out that can stay till next year, like it won't die over the winter.
Right.
Because they're so brittle. Like there's nothing inside of them.
That's cool.
So I'll put that in the garage
and I bet this flower smells nice. The Natal plum. Oh yeah, it smells good. That one.
Yeah, they just came out, so that one actually fell already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And what's this plant?
That's downy willow. This is from Ray's.
Oh,
actually.
okay, yeah.
And you will probably see some of these.
Downy
and this
willow,
thing, I cut it back pretty aggressively.
Yeah.
And they just pop right back. And that's what Ray said. He said this is gonna backbud and grow really well. So.
It's really weird being in this backyard because I see it on video all the time. It's really strange being here. There's the grow boxes, and it's like a place you know, but you've never been there. And here I am.
Flexible. You can bend them right over. Super flexible. So anyways, but fast growing plant, not slow. The savior in the nursery is this material here, of which there's a shortage in the world. All the nurseries are dying to get cocoa discs because it's made from coconut fiber, and it all comes from India and Sri Lanka. And so, like I said, I'm looking for 2-gallon cocoa discs. Ray, we don't have any. I said, I need 3,000 of them. They said, so what it does is, it doesn't eliminate weeds, but it sure slows it down, because if I get cocoa disc in all these containers, I can weed this place myself. It's easy, because the odd one grows here, and it's not hard to look after. And so when we do work in the field and we do conservation work, I tell my guys, bring back those cocoa discs. They go, man, that Ray, he's cheap. I said, I can't get any. I can put them on the plants that don't have them. I don't want to weed. I said, no problem, Ray's cheap. Guess what? Come and weed the nursery. What? They don't like weeding. I said, weed the nursery. Oh, we'll put those cocoa discs on. I said, yeah, that's what I thought you said. But growth rate, phenomenal.
When you chop those, will they
all those annual maples clip and grow? But when they get to 4, 5, 6 years old, and then you start to get the taper in the trunk, and I take everything off, and I got the trunk line where I want to be if I'm making a little show hen, when all the branches come out. They're hard to get at the seedling. Actually, they're dry. I'm going to have to water them. This is our little leaf linden, boulevard tree. Yeah. But the Europeans love it for bonsai because the leaves scale right down. Yeah. The buds get nice and fat and red. It's super flexible. You can wire everywhere, every which way. But the problem is you can't get seedlings. These are not, because these aren't grafted. It's straight seed. The problem is that the nursery trade, just like the ginkgos, they want to line them out in the field. They don't want to sell them because why would they want to sell this when they can sell it for hundreds of dollars in a few years? Yeah. So they just want the stock for lining stock. So I happened to be there at the right time. I said, I need 50. You get 35. I said, can I get 50? No. I'm not buying that tractor trailer load. You get 35. The roots grow rapidly through that slit and get cut. And so what happens is you'll increase the ramification of the roots with inside the basket at a much faster rate. If you leave it exposed on a bench and let air prune, it's slow. And I know most bonsai people, they don't want the results to happen slow. They want it to happen quickly. Do it this way. Take the colander, the plant it in the colander, stick it in the ground. For me, stick it in the ground, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just put it in a big pot. And so I'll show you more. There's a lot of plant material here that's been put in this system, and you can see the roots are going out. And so what happens is, it's like doing an air layer. What happens is when it goes through that slit, and those holes are really small, as the root increases in girth, it's getting confined by the opening. And as it gets confined by the opening, the root that goes through stays small. But the root on the inside of the pot is fat. And so it's building up oxen. And then so it starts to re-root on the inside wall. And then the roots grow out again, and they keep on doing it. And it keeps budding back further in. So the root mass in here gets really dense. And then when you decide you want to take it out of this system and put it in a bonsai pot, because you could, you just shave all this off because the core is packed with roots, and it's a great way to do it. And then you can sit there and put it and there'd be no shock. Good way to handle it. So these are done this way. I don't even know. I think I gotta get water on here. These guys, I don't know if those, see what happened? Look at the Nabari. See? Comes in really well because it's confined, right?
I'll just take that one.
What's that? No. This is actually more money. Because I can't get
For
these.
you, yeah.
No problem.
Sorry.
Here comes the close-up.
Here you go. I'll
pot.
hold it for you.
An air pot inside a pot, and the roots grow through the holes. It really gets a lot of roots in the inside. Really cool.
Now, that's the story right there.
Compestra.
Someone heard me. My wife asked me, why do you have 600 seedlings?
Right.
So what happened, you guys stay here, I'll stand on this side.
Yeah.
I'll explain it. And we'll go to the greenhouse because I keep getting sidetracked. But hedge maple I love because it comes from Britain. It's not native, but it's extremely hardy. And we plant, this is grown in Ontario by the acres as boulevard trees because we plant it all over the place because it's salt tolerant. It takes salt, it takes exposure, and it's a small stature tree. It has a small scalloped leaf, and it reduces, and it's super hardy. But it has a very special quality. And this, you can see the rills on it. You can pass that around. You can see it at the bottom. It's got winged bark like euonymus. The thing is that there's 600 seedlings. I had 600 I started with. I have about 400 now. 200 died. Every single one's a seedling, but every single one's hardiness is variable. They're not all the same. So if I only started off with 20 seedlings, I probably have one. So I start off with 600.
Very unique, isn't it?
And then I end up with 400.
Cool.
And then a few more trickle out because of senescence, because they die, because that's just the way they were designed. And I can see a few more that are slow to grow. Some are stunted, some don't make it, and I pulled out another 6 more the other day. But the rest that are sitting here, and they've already been through one winter sitting here, are super, super hardy. I might lose a few more over the winter, but in the end, I'm going to end up with probably like 300 great trees. It's the only way to do it. You got to start off with a large quantity, and just through attrition, you're going to lose a bunch. But these are nice, and this is another clip and grow. I could wire these, but they're like the Acer Rubin. They stiffen up really fast. So I'll just do clip and grow, develop the Nabari, develop the trunk line, and then let the growth come in because they bud back really well. Cool. Acer Compestra, hedge maple, great tree. Yeah. And they grow easy from seed. I got bushels at the front of my house.
Is that your tree?
No.
No. Doesn't have your name on it?
No.
Not yet.
No. I got no space, Nigel.
And so it's just different. It's just a different tree. But they come in here and they're looking for a home for the winter. So it's a good spot because snow's like this. The pot's dark. You got the soil in here. Roots on a plant. You can feed off of it, and they just riddle through. But in the process of riddling through it, they leave me these big air pockets and they kill the roots. So the roots root back somewhere else. So to rip this out and put it in a shallow pot is not a problem. I'm showing you that no one's gonna do this for you. You're not gonna I'm showing you because this is what happens in a nursery.
Yeah.
You know, welcome to my world.
Nigel has bunnies that prune his trees.
Yeah.
Ray has rodents that
speaking
root
of
prune
bunnies,
for him.
I had a tree over here, one of those spruce trees, and I was pulling weeds out, and I stuck my hand into the soil just to get the root, and I put my hand back, I go, what the hell was that? It was so soft. And then when I pulled it away, all these bunnies started jumping out.
Oh, no.
I went, oh, great. Like a magician, right? Out of the pot comes these bunnies. So it was, well, I'm not afraid of bunnies, but it was just,
Unexpected.
it was unexpected. So anyways,
Did you ever find a snake, Ray?
lots of snakes here.
Yeah.
No, not in a pot, but there's lots of snakes. There's lots of snakes here.
Okay.
We have garter snakes and milk snakes. That's all I've seen so far here.
They must love the warmth of this black stuff here.
Oh, a
right?
lot of heat here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but like I said, what happens is like the snow's like this, and I literally have to come in here with snowshoes to come and check everything.
Wow.
And so that's what we do. So when we get a heavy snowfall, it's all snowmobile. That's all we. So what happens is all the gates are open, and so this is a 55-acre farm. He's got 100 acres. He's got 600 acres. So all the gates are open. and everyone snowmobiles.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but in this particular property, there's not a square inch of level property anywhere on our farm.
Yeah.
And so from the floor, I've shot this level, from the floor of that barn to the very bottom of the field, which are those trees, the land drops 32 feet.
Wow.
And so the greenhouse from this corner to kitty corner to the opposite corner, 9-foot drop. A lot of granular material went in to build that base. Yeah, that's the most expensive part of the whole building, the footing. So anyways, that's the thing here. So I don't have a problem with flooding, but I got a problem with leveling.
You know, I was going to air layer the tree on my boulevard. Before I got to it, the city came and
Clipping grow. And so now that I get it to this point, now it's time to wire because I've got it where I need it to be. And so the way I look after this tree, I never spray. I don't like spraying. I used to spray a lot. When you're in a greenhouse complex, spraying you spray on a regular basis. I hate spraying. I don't like doing it. And so the only way I control this plant is with water. And so I take the hose and I actually scrub all the branches just with water. And I start from the top and I go around and around and I scrub everything, bottom, inside, bark, crotches, everywhere, all the way until I get to the bottom. By the time I get to the bottom, the tree's watered. And then I just move on. And that's how I look after this. But when you have a lot of trees, and I've been to some people's places and you look around, you say, you got a lot of trees. He says, you got a lot of trees. I said, well, yeah, but you have to pick something and concentrate on it. Otherwise, if you kind of just spread yourself around, you never get anything done. So I picked this tree. I said, I work on this tree. So I kept working on it. But I've never wired it. So that job's coming soon because I got to start pulling these branches down. And when I do that, I'll start down the bottom and I'll start opening these up. When I start opening these up, there's branches are going to go because there's not enough room for them. But I have to open these up to get light in. And so this is a 6-7 hour needle plucking job last winter. And then but before I do that, I got to wait. It's budding back everywhere now. And so what I got to start with in the new year is knocking out the terminal bud on every shoot. That takes a while. And then once I've done that, then I start needle plucking all the needles I don't want, cutting out the weak shoots I don't want, shoots that I know that are not going to be part of the design, and then I leave it. Then the candles start to grow, and then I start snapping them back when they're a ½ inch. And I start going through all that, and keep working on the tree, and then it looks really skeletonized, and then it starts to grow, and then it starts to fill in again. And that's what happened with all these. So these Mugo pines here, and this is a Scots pine, and it's got a great. The taper is great. It's great. Whoever grafted did a nice job. I've got 4 more like this, but they're not for sale. I'm just hanging on to them. I'm keeping them all. I love working on this tree. So
how long have you had that tree facing us?
11 years. It was only a 2-inch caliper trunk when it came, but that's just containerized growing and whatnot. So last year, I had my guys, they were going home, I go, 1 second, I need one job done. They went, what? I want to work in this tree. That's all, I get this look at the why. I said, I just want to cut the root system down, just take about a ½ foot off, or a foot. So I said, you help me lean on the side, pull this pot off. So then we trimmed it all off, potted it all up. I said, okay, fine, thank you. And they went home. And I said, it's going in the greenhouse for the winter. So, but it's a great tree. They're wonderful to work with. Scots pine, even the regular one out you see at the side of the road. If you don't know how to work on pines and you want to learn, find a tree out in the wild. Butcher it. No, I'm serious. Go cut, strip needles off, and then go back and see what happens. That's how you're going to learn. I mean, you get to a certain point, you can only watch so many videos, and you can only read so many articles. You actually have to get up out of the chair and go do it. And then you'll look and you'll say, oh, I did this at this time of the year, look what happened. And then you keep working on the ones out in the wild which aren't yours, and no one's going to come after you for Scots pine because it's not native. And the Ministry of Natural Resources is trying to eliminate the tree because it's growing everywhere. It's displacing a lot of native vegetation, so it's on the hit list. So go help them out. Go work on the trees. It's easy. So these are Mugo pines, regular Mugo pines, so they'll grow into gigantic trees. And I grew these from seedlings. They were 3 inches tall when I got them. And I got them from Montana. And so they came here, I potted them all up. They are also 11. This winter, these trees are all cleaned out. They got massive budding back everywhere. Now it's time to wire some of these trees. So I'll wire, eliminate weak branches, eliminate branches that aren't going to work, and I'm going to wire them. Once they're wired, then they'll start to sell. Because everyone's looking for someone to do the heavy lifting. And when it starts to look like something, these are 3-year-old large seedlings, and so I plant them in the pot. They're about this big, and they're about diameter size like half a pencil in diameter. And they just pot them up, whether they plant them straight or whatever, they just pot them up. And they just lay them out in the nursery. And then they grow. And then I bring them in the greenhouse, and last January I put a piece of wire on them. So these have been out in the nursery for 2 years. And I put a piece of wire on them, and I wire them all up, and I start shaping them. Well, I took the wire off just 6 months ago. 6 months ago, no wait, no. 2 months ago, I finished taking the wire off in July. And so, considering that these are only a few years old, they grow incredibly fast. And we can pass it around, and they can look. You can see the wire marks. Wire marks. I just took the wire off, and the wire had cut in pretty deep. But by next year, you're only going to see a mark, and after that, they're going to be gone. But I'm going to get the shape I want. You got to remember, it's pre-bonsai. It's not to go on a show table. You're just trying to build up the structure of this tree and try to get that structural form. I didn't wire lateral branches. I only went for trunk. And so what I'm going to do next with these, if no one buys these, which I'm keeping my fingers crossed, because they're going to go in a same shallow pot, but double the size, because I'm going to bulk these trunks right out. You'll never see the mark, but when I do that, then this winter, I'll be wiring all the lateral, all the primary branches, and get them into position and taking everything out. I'm getting the tree ready, and then I'm just going to bulk them all out, cut everything back, and then once I get what I want, start to slow them down. I really don't want to put them in bonsai pots, but that's got a lot of work. I don't feel like doing it, but I don't think they'll be here that long. They go fast.
One went yesterday.
Pardon me?
One went yesterday.
One went yesterday. Yes, one went yesterday. But if you look, here's one. Here's one I took the wire off. One of the earlier ones, and the wire. Well, we can put it here. And the wire marks are almost gone. They grow really fast.
And the wire, like the wiring thickens the trunk too, because it grows.
Yeah, I'm going to show you an example on these pines. The wire digs right in, and so when you're trying to make something look like it's a yamadori, like a collected plant, you take the seedling and you put the wire on tight, all the way up, and you start to bend. But if you start making really tight bends, those are going to disappear. Because as a tree, as the trunk line increases in girth, those tight bends are just going to hit each other, and you're going to miss that. But it's still going to look all contorted, and that's I'll show you on these ones. But that's okay, because once it does all that, it becomes a gnarly, messy tree with all these bumps and whatnot. But it looks collected. If you were to find it out in the wild, you'd be digging it up and taking it home. That's the trick. So the trick is, how do I make it look collected? And so sometimes I'll see a branch along, those are Shimpaku junipers, and then I get branches in there. I just rip the branch right off. I just rip it. Because I'm not looking for formal upright trees. I like the collected look, and that's why I do those things. And so I put the wire on tight. It digs right in, because I know it's pre-bonsai, and I'm going to push out all the growth. But I'm going to get a movement and shape that I want. And everybody's looking for movement in the trunk, unless you're looking for formal upright. So, but very few people are looking for that. That's actually probably the hardest form to make, because that's perfect. It's very hard to make perfect. So if you look in here, and this is something that some of you might experience. I know I experience every time I come in here to wire. So I wire in the wintertime. The first 10 trees are easy. After that, it's hard, because you're trying to make them all different, and you're like, the first one, second one, 10th one, and then you get back and go, oh, I already made that. So you're trying to figure it out and say, oh boy, I don't know what to make next. So you start repeating. It's very hard to make 65 trees all different. So this is, here's movement, see? You can leave them right there, it's no big deal. What else is here? So this particular one, that was about this tall. And I said, well, this is way too tall. So I think what I'll do is I'll bend it down. The funny thing is that when you take a seedling and you wire it up like this, you can put, and it's a larch and it's super flexible, you can put the branches everywhere you want them. You just bend, right? So what I did was, this was way too tall, so I said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to wire this all up, and then I crank this right down and bring the leader right down to make this cascade branch. And so now that's down here, and then a new bud will come up like this one, or maybe I'll pull this guy up and I'll manipulate. So I got more work to do to this one, but the basic idea is there. But that's, like I said, there's just, I just make them, and I don't know where I'm going with them. There's all kinds of styles, all kinds of shapes, all kinds of maneuvers, whatnot. But when you make them really tight, I'm trying to find one here, it's secret. I cranked it over really tight. See, this one's going to lose it. When they're seedlings, you can do a lot. You can create a lot of really nice trees. It's a good way to make stuff. And everyone says, I don't have too many heartbeats left. Pick something that grows fast. But like I said, most people grow their plants slow. So these are all just different forms and different things that you can do. Now, here's a good example. These are dwarf mugo pines. I grew them from seedlings. I've had them for about 3 years. And they're all the same age. But if you look at something like this, with a wire cut right in. Actually, is that too heavy for you? Yep. If you pass it around and look at it, you see what I'm saying? See, and I think you've seen that with, like, I just took the wire off of that the other day. I took it off about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and it's already starting to fill in already. And now, and then by next year, it's going to look like I collected it out off of the mountain somewhere. Because what wiring does, it does a secondary thing. It holds back oxygen and it creates budding back. So you keep the wire on there and it pinches the wood and you get budding back in a lot of different places. Oxidizes and blends in, and you don't see it when you're walking. And then all of a sudden you look and you went, oh no, now I got a nice job getting that wire off. Big problem.
Hello. That's pretty close there, hello.
Everyone.
Hey, Connor. So lots of views on your videos. That's good. Eh?
Yeah,
That was really
lots
good.
of feedback. I'm really excited. Glad
I
everyone
think
enjoyed them.
Well, you don't often see bonsai in progress, do you?
Yeah, no.
Kind of interesting to see how they develop. I'll get some shots of this pine while I'm here.
Yeah,
It's just amazing. How big is it? Well, there's my hand. It's big. Yeah, quite a monster, isn't it?
Yeah, and the ramification is crazy.
Yeah, and they just keep getting better. Just amazing.
I don't know, he's never gonna find a pot big enough for it.
Yeah. So this is Jay. You may have seen him from the comments section, a new member to the Toronto Bonsai Society. How's it going?
Hey, it's great, Nigel. Hi everyone.
Good to meet you finally.
Yeah, in person, it's really nice.
Yeah.
And just for anyone who's wondering, Nigel's hair is just as awesome in person as it is on video.
That's how I like to do.
Wow, look at that.
That's wood burning, I mean?
Yeah, but you know what, Connor? This is online. It's on the TVS website.
It looks different in person.
Well, that's the problem. You got to touch it, feel it, taste it, right?
That's it. But the tree.
Jay, we're looking at your pots.
Oh, it's not too
You're not left.
They're all
sorry.
sold.
No, it wasn't Jay.
It wasn't Jay, it was the other guy.
Oh, no.
John.
Yeah, he wanted me to. I said I'd go
Oh,
get
where are you
these.
going? You're here.
Mine's out.
I saw him put
The
it
guy
on
that's taking those pots.
Yeah, because he wanted to see us.
Oh,
It just reminded me, I got more pots at the house.
That's what he.
Where'd you get that from?
I just reserved it to the side.
Oh, yeah, because you know what? I told people what the price was because there's only one pot here that was $40, which was this one. And everything else here is 30. Those are all 30 as well.
Those are all 30.
That one's 30 though.
It's
He
the
took it off
40,
the shelf.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Oh, you got some more.
Yeah, but I gotta wait. Is he your husband? Yeah, because I brought the pots from him, so I gotta let him look at them first. I promised him first.
Kids on guard.
He's coming now.
Which ones are they?
You're over there.
Yeah, these ones. These
Over here?
Yeah.
Oh, these ones down here. Oh,
This one's similar.
wow.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that one.
Me and Derek are gonna fight over the pot.
That's very important. No, that's
Derek has a secret. He has a metal blade in his hat.
You don't take that, you're gonna
Like the James Bond movies.
This plant actually needs water.
Like
Those are 40.
the robin egg,
Yeah.
blue, beautiful.
Isn't that, you never see that color anywhere else, I don't think.
I have one.
This was
They're beautiful, aren't they?
The white with the pink,
Yeah,
really
that's
beautiful
nice.
as well.
No, I gotta make more
I have a
pots.
succulent that Izabela gave me that's the exact color.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of a-
Yeah, because some of the succulent, the jades have that red, pink kind of outline, especially in the sun.
Yeah,
I got a.
there's another blue one there that's really nice, Connor. Look at that one, eh?
My wife.
It's got dark on the other
Yeah,
side.
and like a purpley almost
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
bottom.
That's amazing.
The green family.
Just,
And I really like the grog and the clay,
Yeah, me
like the
too.
thickness and the particles.
yeah, it's amazing.
Make them as fast.
These are perfect for
Wow.
presents as well.
They're awesome.
Mhm.
Totally awesome.
G-forces at the bottom. Hard thing, eh?
Carnival ride. Well, a fitting end to a really hot, humid day. It's raining just before sunset, so that's awesome. At least my trees will get some water. Well, here I am, 13 hours later, back where I started from. That was a really fun day visiting Zin, going to Ray's place with Zin, and then Zin and his wife cooked up this fantastic meal for me. Oh, it was so delicious. So I can see it rained here just a little bit, not very much. Must have missed the bonsai zone, I guess. So here's the tree I was worried about the most, my Sarissa. I kept it in the shade down here, low in the greenhouse so it doesn't get too hot. It looks like there's still plenty of moisture in the pot, so that looks okay. I'll just give it a misting now. It's fine. Give everything a bit of a misting in here. Yeah, it looks like the bougainvilleas are a little dry. I'll have to water the ones in the greenhouse for sure. And that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.